And if I suddenly feel like, oh man, I better get Ron out of here. Ron can't talk to her. Ron can't even have any dealings with her. I don't care if that's the banker. I don't care if that person is somebody at work that we need to have a relationship with. Ron can't have anything to do with her because I'm afraid of what might happen. Well, now that's unhealthy.
Welcome to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina.
And today we're talking about the root cause of jealousy.
And that word jealousy, that automatically has negative connotations, right? We think about control, manipulation, but jealousy isn't always bad. So we really need to understand what the root cause of jealousy is and how it is being displayed.
So why are you talking to that guy? You know, why is it that he's even considering having a conversation with you? What are you doing that's drawing his attention?
Are you talking about Brian?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Ron, he's the banker. I'm trying to get a loan for our car. What is wrong with you?
What do you mean?
Of course I'm going to pick up the phone when he calls.
Well, you're talking to him too much.
Oh my goodness, that's because we have to provide all this information. I have to be friendly. What do you want me to say? What do you want?
Well,
is that what you want me to do?
Well, no, I know.
So
I realize you have to talk to him.
Okay, then what's the problem, Ron? You insecure? Is that the problem?
Maybe so.
Jealous? Is that your problem?
You ever had a conversation like that where, you know, the obvious is that the conversation has to happen, but because of your insecurity, it's not really, it appears to be something that it's not.
And maybe your own imagination. Maybe there have been things that have happened in your past in your relationship that have caused you to have this jealousy, that insecurity in your relationship. So everything is a threat, right?
Everything's a threat.
Everything's a threat. So today we're going to talk about what's the root cause of jealousy. Is it really a threat, or is it that you're protecting what you have? There's two ways to approach jealousy as a couple. There's the healthy jealousy that actually says, let's protect ours. Let's protect the us in our relationship and be jealously guarding it. And there's the unhealthy jealousy that comes out of insecurity, fear, and control.
So if you ever experienced a conversation like the one that Cathy and I just demonstrated, then that's a sign that there's some insecurity, some trust issues that are going on between the two of you. And we want to address those today. We want to talk about how do you build trust? How do you put yourself in a place where, you know what, you know that your name is safe in her mouth. She knows her name is safe in your mouth. Or no matter where each of you go, you know that both of you are on guard and you're protecting what you have.
So as we dig deep today and talking about jealousy, we're really going to expose the root causes of jealousy so that you can really take a hard look at your relationship and determine what it is you need to work on. And understand that jealousy can be positive, but jealousy can also destroy a relationship.
So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this episode, and we will be right back. Welcome to TYRO. I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina. And Ron and I are the co-creators of TYRO.
TYRO is a Latin word, which means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new, a warrior.
Your job isn't to extract value from your friends, your family, or your community. Your job is to create value in every situation that you find yourself in, to help others become more successful. So what I want you to do is I want you to list 3 things that you add to your friendships, to your family, and to your community.
Listen, you are fighting every day for something, and maybe you don't even know what you're fighting for, but when TYRO comes into your life, it's there not only to empower you, but to give you a clear vision and a clear direction of what you're fighting for.
So really what TYRO means is to fight for your legacy, to become a leader in your home, your community, and your workplace.
Hello guys, I'm Jermaine Hall, lead coach of the TYRO Fit Skills program.
And I'm Brandon Tijerina, the Senior Director of TYRO Support Services. We've partnered together to bring you such an amazing workout program that's going to take you to the next level.
Because there is a measure of joy and a measure of pain in everybody's life. So when we think about shock and the impact of shock, typically people don't find themselves stuck in shock. Most of the time, people can navigate out of that.
So here's what we want you to do. We want you to think of a time that you experienced shock in your life, and we want you to write it down. Welcome back to TYRO TV. Today we're talking about the root cause of jealousy, whether it's healthy or not healthy.
It's really, really important. As a matter of fact, we're going to say a key ingredient in your relationship to understand the difference between healthy jealousy and unhealthy jealousy.
You know, when we think about what is healthy, when we think about what is good for us, you know, you're building something between the two of you. You're building something for the two of you as an individual, as a couple, as a family. And you got to protect that. You know, as a husband, my job is to cover, not expose. My job is to be the provider, the protector and everything. But I want to be jealous of what I'm building, and not in a way where I'm bringing poison between us, or I'm allowing poison to come in. I want to protect, I want to guard, I want to safeguard what we're building.
So that's the healthy jealousy that says, you know what, I'm going to jealously guard. I'm going to put up a fence. I'm going to protect what is mine, whether that is our relationship, whether it is like, you know what, I'm going to protect and stand guard over my car and make sure that I park it appropriately and don't run over things or hit the curb, because I want it to be safe. I want it to be well maintained. So that's jealously guarding in a healthy way, right? And so every time that you feel that sense of, you know what, I've got to protect him or her because I sense danger, it doesn't mean it's negative. It's positive when you're protecting the investment that you have with each other.
Now let's take a look at the unhealthy side. This is where you're like a dictator, or you're controlling every situation, where you have no trust in the relationship. This is where you're demanding, where are you? This is where you're asking the questions, who did you talk to? How long were you on the phone for? Let me see your emails. Let me check your purse. Let me do all these things. This is insecurity. This is where there's no trust because of what happened in the past. Maybe you had past relationships and there was always things breaking. There was always things happening in your relationship to where no one could move forward because there was always distrust.
So now you're operating out of a sense of insecurity, fear, right? Hurt, pain, the desire to control comes out, and you're like, you know what? I have to control every movement because I'm so jealous. I'm so afraid that somebody else is going to come in and disrupt the us. It's not that I'm protecting the us. It's that I'm actually acting out of a controlling, manipulative mindset. And so that is unhealthy, and it's going to suffocate the us and the relationship, the love, the trust is actually suffocated by unhealthy jealousy. So what we're talking about is finding the balance and finding out what is the root cause. Why am I experiencing this? Where is this coming from? Why is it that if I see somebody come in the room and I like note, oh wow, you know, that's an attractive young lady. And if I suddenly feel like, oh man, I better get Ron out of here. Ron can't talk to her. Ron can't even have any dealings with her. I don't care if that's the banker. I don't care if that person is somebody at work that we need to have a relationship with. Ron can't have anything to do with her because I'm afraid of what might happen. Well, now that's unhealthy. Versus if I see somebody coming on to Ron and I make him aware of it and say, honey, I just want to let you know that her intentions I don't think are honorable. I've watched how she looks at you. I watch how she interacts. Put your guard up. Let's guard the us. That's different. See the difference between get away from her. Don't look over there.
So we're talking about attitude and behavior.
Yes.
Right? We're talking about your intent, your motivation. If I'm protecting Cathy out of honor, out of good character, out of a place where there is trust and I want to cherish that trust, right? That's healthy. Now, if you're the type of individual that is in control mode all the time, right? Your attitude and behavior, and you're always telling your wife, or the wife is telling the husband, I don't want you to go here, you go to this place. You better call me when you get there. You better text me when you get there. You better text me when you get home. Do all these things, and you're constantly doing this. This is hindering your relationship. This is not healthy. This is the control, your attitude, your behavior, and you're really manifesting your insecurities because why? You're coming from a broken place.
Now, I really love that, and it's really important to understand, Ron, when you said attitude and behavior in combination, because your behavior could be, the things that you say could be the exact same, right? From a place of health and a place of unhealthy jealousy. But it's the attitude behind it. So I could say, Ron, I'm really not comfortable with you going such and such place. It makes me uncomfortable. And a healthy, let's protect the us, let's protect our investment in each other, let's have each other's back. Versus, you know what, Ron, I'm totally not comfortable, I'm sick and tired of you doing this. See the difference in the attitude? So when I come at that from a place of brokenness and fear and insecurity, it actually breaks down the strength of our relationship. So understanding what the root cause of your jealousy is really important, because then you know what issues that you have in your relationship that you need to begin to work out. So if every time I go somewhere, I tell Ron, you know what, you can't wear shorts. You know what, I want you to keep your sunglasses on. Look at the ground. Don't you dare look around. You stay focused on the ground. If you're not looking at the ground, you're looking at me. Otherwise, we're going to have it out. That's ridiculous. But we've seen couples treat each other that way. And that ugliness of that jealousy and that root of wanting to control and manipulate that comes out of insecurity and distrust is actually destroying your relationship.
So when we come back, we want to talk about why this is important to really address between the two of you and to really come to a place of healing and trust, right? So you're not always coming from a place of bitterness and brokenness. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Finding your purpose should not be rocket science. Why is it in life when we get excited about something, when something comes our way and we know that this is our purpose, we know this is the reason why we were put here on earth, we allow life and the circumstances thereof to snatch our joy, to steal our dreams? Why is it that we allow those things to just suffocate our growth?
Because we make it so complicated. You need a program that shows you the process, that lays it out in front of you so that you know exactly when you're on track to unleash your fullest potential.
Because the word is, if you're faithful in the little things, you will be faithful in the big things.
In this program, we're going to teach you the process to actually reach your dreams. Some of you don't even know what your dreams are, so we're going to help you unlock that and unleash that. And then we're going to give you the process to step through all of the challenges, overcome every single obstacle in order to reach and achieve those dreams.
Part of the process of you becoming a new person for you is understanding what it means to be a TYRO, right? You're going to start reciting a pledge that is going to become your new mantra for your life, called the TYRO Pledge. And I promise you, this would change the way you think about you.
We're going to teach you the difference between a value statement and an observation. We're going to give you the formula on how to be successful in investing your time and energy. We're going to walk you through the process of developing a mission statement.
This is not going to be easy. This is not a cakewalk. But if you're ready to live up to your greatest potential, to take on every challenge that's in front of you and conquer them, then you're ready to be a TYRO.
You must know you are not on this path alone. As you go through this course, you're going to be going through this course with people all across the world. There are TYROs worldwide that are waiting to welcome you into this community, to become a person worth following and join the network that is transforming their lives and their communities.
The greatest honor of completing TYRO is to earn the TYRO pen. Many people from across the world, from all walks of life, have earned the TYRO pen by completing the 12 workshops that are in this program. But just because you signed up, and maybe you showed up for one or two of them, doesn't give you the right to earn the TYRO pin. You must complete this entire program to be pinned a TYRO.
This pinning is an outward symbol of something that's happened on the inside. Because throughout the TYRO process, you are going to be awakened to your purpose and your dreams. Your heartbeat begins to resurrect and beat again for the passion of being a leader in your home, your community, and your workplace.
If your dreams don't scare you, then you are not dreaming big enough. Sign up for this program if you're ready to be pushed to your greatest potential. Sign up for this program if you're ready to live the next level of life. You have what it takes. Everything that you need is right inside you. We're here to help you pull it out, your greatest potential. Quit running from yourself. Become the man or the woman that you were called to be here today, right now.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. Today we're talking about understanding the root cause of jealousy.
It is vitally important that you understand where those feelings of jealousy are coming from, because it's normal, it's natural, right? It's even healthy to feel that jealousy of I want to protect, I want to guard us and our relationship. And when you're jealously guarding it together, that means you're on the same page of saying that these are the things we're going to put into action and put in as protections in our relationship. That's healthy. It's causing you to be able to thrive and build more and more trust over time.
But when it's unhealthy, if you can remember when you were a child and one child had a better toy than you had or something of that nature, right? And you became jealous of that individual, you may have even acted out of that jealousy. You may have took that toy and say, no, you can't have it. I'm taking it from you. Well, that's the same way when you become an adult and you've never dealt with those childlike tendencies or issues, and now you're in a relationship, and so now you see your significant other maybe look somewhere, maybe you even imagine they even said something, and it's you imagining it, and then you react and you respond in such an unhealthy way that it really breaks down the relationship. It builds distrust.
It brings harm.
Harm to your relationship. And this is what we want to address. If that's where you're at right now, we want you to take a look at yourself. Examine yourself. Why are you moving in that realm of jealousy to where you're hurting others?
So when we think about unhealthy jealousy, oftentimes that's born out of our own personal experience. Perhaps in your current relationship, one or both of you have been unfaithful, and it has breached the trust you had between you. That's a really difficult thing to overcome, but I'm going to tell you it's possible. But the only way it's possible is to really understand why you're feeling the way you feel and move away from those unhealthy thoughts and behaviors.
So now, fellas, what Cathy's talking about is something that we experienced because I was unfaithful, right? It took years and years of us talking it out, working it through, healing and growing and walking through the process of healing. And I had to come to a place of being real with it and talking about it, right? But one of the great things about our relationship in this healing, where I could now go places without Cathy having a mind battle that I was going to be unfaithful.
So as you look at the root cause of your jealousy, the root cause of your jealousy may have been an infidelity. Maybe that infidelity wasn't even in this relationship, but a past hurt that you brought into this relationship. So your insecurity continues to rise. Every time that there's a trigger, you see, smell, hear something that triggers back the pain, that control wants to rise up. But remember, when that unhealthy jealousy that seeks to control, manipulate, operates out of fear, operates out of pain, that's destroying the us. And so if you've had unfaithfulness in your own relationship and you say, you know what, well, the reason I feel this way is because he or she was unfaithful to me. Now, first of all, I understand the pain of having somebody be unfaithful to you. It hurts, and it's really hard to come back from and rebuild that trust. But I can also tell you that it can happen, and your relationship can be restored to a healthy and actually healthier position than before the unfaithfulness.
But the key to success in that is you got to be willing to talk. You got to own your trash, right? And to bring healing to where you're protecting the usness. And this is what we're talking about. So fellas, when you're protecting the usness, you're not using it with a club, right? You're not using it with but you have your armor on. You got your whole armor. You're a warrior, and you're protecting your legacy. Because once you become conscious of what you really have and what you really cherish, you would not allow anything, right? I'm not going to let any mind battle come into me. I'm not going to go out and look for something that could destroy us. What I want to do is surround myself with individuals, with circumstances that produce life and beauty and the pursuit of happiness for us. Not for necessarily for anyone else first, but for us first.
If you ignore the big why is it so important to understand what the root of jealousy is in your relationship? Is because if you ignore it and it's unhealthy, then it's like those small foxes that ruin the vine. These small things will start creeping in, and it starts bringing poison everywhere in your relationship. Or another analogy we use is, if you've got a 5-gallon tub of chocolate ice cream and you put 2 tablespoons of poop in there and you stir it all up, that whole thing becomes poop. When you let jealousy go unchecked, when you don't really take a step back and say, okay, what's the root of this jealousy? Why is this happening? Is it healthy or unhealthy? And if it's unhealthy, you're letting poop in your ice cream. You're letting it stink up everything about your relationship. And before you know it, your relationship is on the rocks. You're ready to call it quits because you let this come in and bring poison and stench into every part of your relationship.
So as you recognize where the jealousy, where the hurt and pain is, it will cause you to grow. But you got to be honest. You got to bring it out into the light. If you want to be healed, you got to expose the wound. And this is going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. But you have your partner to help you walk through the process of being healed. Because we promise you, when you bring it to the light and you talk about it, you both will grow and you will become stronger and not walk in this unhealthy jealousy.
In the next segment, we're going to talk about how. How do you identify what the root cause of jealousy is, and then how do you manage through that? So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
I'm your coach, Tremaine Hall. We're looking forward to getting you to the next level in where you want to be in fitness. Our whole method is to make you mentally tough and also physically strong. We're going to start with dynamic warm-up, lower core, upper body, and also full body blast. Get ready to take your fitness to the next level with TYRO Fit and Stenos.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. Today we're talking about the root cause of jealousy.
Oh man, and this is a heavy subject. I know it's not fun to talk about jealousy because it has personal connotations and it kind of hurts, right? Most of the time, we don't want to look at jealousy. We don't want to admit that we're jealous because we think of all jealousy as being negative. But we've got to change the way we think, and we have to really weigh out, is my jealousy actually causing us to come closer together and protect our relationship and what we're building together? Or is it destroying my relationship and poisoning and making me bitter and suffocating our relationship? This is so important.
You know, as you think about the word jealousy, remember we talked about attitude and behavior. You know, so one of the things you got to do is self-examination. Ask yourself this question before you jump off the handle, right? Before you accuse anyone of something that's not really there, right? Is this really a threat? That's the question you need to ask yourself each and every time. Is this really a threat?
When you think about threat, we're asking you to ask this. Is it a threat to me being comfortable? That's not what we're asking. Is it a threat to our relationship, to us? And if it is, then it's like, okay, now we need to have a conversation. So number two, after you ask yourself, is this really a threat? Number two is you have to give each other permission to be able to have open, honest conversations. To say, you know what, it might not be comfortable, but if you see me doing or saying something that sparks jealousy inside of you or you think is inappropriate, please come and talk to me about it. Now, in order for that to happen, you have to establish boundaries around your relationship and you have to have trust between the two of you.
And as you establish those boundaries, right, this is an open-ended conversation. This is, you're growing, you're dreaming together. You're doing everything that a healthy couple does, right? It's okay to ask the question, hey, are you spending too much time with that individual? Right? What's going on here? It's okay to have those healthy conversations. But what the problem is when you start accusing without any proof. That's jealousy.
So as you set boundaries, so we talked about first asking yourself, is this a real threat? Number two, giving each other permission to be honest and open when you start feeling threatened by someone or something else. Number three, setting boundaries together in your relationship. That way it's very clear, you know what, this is the expectation between us. These are the things that we're both comfortable with each other doing on our own, and these are the things we want to check in and maybe do together.
For example, I don't get on an elevator. If there's only one woman with me getting on the elevator, I don't get on the elevator. I don't travel with the opposite sex unless there's more people with us in the vehicle. I don't go to bars. The boundaries are clear and they're precise. I'm not having mind battles. I know what to do and what not to do. Why? Because I'm protecting us.
And that's the same thing for me. I apply those exact same boundaries and standards in my life. I won't travel alone. I don't even get on an airplane and travel alone to a conference. I take someone else with me if Ron can't go. That protects our relationship. It protects us from having mind battles, and it brings solidity and security and more trust. And that foundation of trust helps us to practice jealousy in a healthy way instead of getting off target.
Now listen, this is our relationship. And number four, we don't let anyone else define how we live and breathe, right? This is our relationship. Now, some of you might be saying that's silly. We know it's not about that. Of course, I do trust Cathy if she leaves and goes to a conference by herself. Of course, but you know what? We're accountable to one another and to a lot of other people. I don't want to have any appearances if she's talking to somebody and somebody comes by and says something to me. Hey, I saw her talking to someone. You know, so what? She's going to talk to people. But I also know I can trust Cathy.
So as you look at the root cause of your own jealousy, asking that first question is really important. Is this a real threat? And when you're determining whether or not it's a real threat, I want to go back to that because this is step one. If you can't get past that, you're not going to be able to really become more self-aware and bring resiliency to your relationship. Is it a real threat based upon your past together? Is it a real threat based upon what you know about your partner? Is it a real threat based upon what you know about yourself? Is it a real threat based upon what you know about the other person? So as you go through and you really think through that and you put all the pieces of that puzzle together, that will give you your answer. No, you know what? This is just out of my own pain, out of my own insecurity. It's still okay to share that, to say, you know what? Ron, I'm having a mind battle. I recognize that you're not doing anything wrong, but you know, when I saw you out there watching TV for 4 hours, I had a little bit of a mind battle, and I just want to share that with you and let you know I do trust you, and I'm really glad I can trust you.
So we come back, we're going to wrap all this up, right? So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this.
One day, he invited me to attend these classes he earned for taking part in the TYRO program. I thought it was just a way to get extra visits. But I went, and there I saw a different man.
My once estranged 4-year-old son now sees me as a hero, as do my 2 stepchildren. I'm proud to say that I've just achieved 2 full years of continuous sobriety.
Today I'm a father, friend, neighbor, a man of honor and integrity, a man worth following. Without this program, there's no doubt I would have been a statistic.
I have to give the Ridge Project and the TYRO classes a great big thank you for finding the man I married.
So, to the Ridge Project and all my other TYRO brothers, I'd like to say thank you, God bless you, and here's to another year of being leaders in a society wonderful enough to give people like me a second chance at the American dream.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. Today we're talking about the root cause of jealousy.
We hope that as we've gone through the different ways that people actually experience jealousy or jealousy manifests itself, that you've had some time to really introspectively look at your own heart and ask yourself, am I protecting in a healthy way what is ours, or am I damaging it by having my own mind battles and spewing poison and control?
Let me give you an example before we close out of what this looks like. Okay, so if many of you maybe have puppies or dogs in your life, right? So we got a puppy and we have a dog. And so our puppy barks at everything. Everything to our puppy is a what? Is a threat. I'm talking about me coming down the stairs, a car driving by. Everything is a threat in that puppy's eyes. So it constantly is barking. But now our mature dog, it doesn't do that. He won't even get up. He won't even move. But he will move when he feels it's a threat. In fact, he only barks when it's a threat.
And so that's like us. So if we're like very immature in our relationship, we haven't learned to self-regulate, we haven't really built trust, we're like that puppy where everything's a threat. So we're going off, we're having arguments, we're yipping all the time. Whereas once we build maturity and trust in our relationship and we can recognize where that jealousy is coming from, then we know when it's a real threat.
We can relax. That's what you can relax in your relationship, because you know what? What you think was a threat is not a threat. And when you're at that place where you know what? I trust you. I love you. We are growing together. This is what we're talking about. I'm protecting us.
So there's one final thought we want to leave you with. There's something that we do in our relationship is that we, if not daily, at the most every other day, we remind each other, I'm faithful today, tomorrow, and forever. And you see, we don't talk about, we don't bring up whatever has happened in the past, but we say today, tomorrow, and forever.
So literally, I will say to Cathy, I am faithful to you today, tomorrow, and forever. And that strengthens, it puts strength in that bond between us. And we're not embarrassed to say that. Guess what? This is what we do. Don't let anyone define your relationship, but do something that's healthy and it causes your relationship to grow.
So we hope that you've learned something today, and we want to thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey.
So until next time, always remember that we are rooting for you.